Maple Glen, Pennsylvania. A town of manicured lawns and friendly waves, until tragedy struck. On a crisp autumn morning, Rachel Holcomb's house stood silent. Emily, her best friend, called and called. No answer. Concerned, Emily drove over. Rachel's car was there, but the house was eerily quiet. Using a spare key, Emily entered. She called Rachel's name. Silence. Upstairs, the bedroom door was ajar. Rachel lay in bed, still and peaceful, but unmistakably gone. No signs of struggle. The scene was pristine, almost staged. Someone had entered, taken a life, and vanished without a trace. Maple Glen's peace was shattered. A killer had walked among them, unseen and unheard. The nightmare had just begun. In one morning, everything changed. Detective Kruger arrived seasoned but unsettled. The crime scene was methodical, no chaos, no evidence. The killer had likely been let in or had a key. Forensics found nothing, no prints, no DNA, no hair. It was as if a ghost had committed the crime. Then a neighbor recalled seeing a man in black watching Rachel's house that night. Tall, slender, face hidden in shadow. It was their only lead. Kruger dug into Rachel's life, searching for anyone who fit the description. One name surfaced again and again: Tyler Dorsey, her ex-boyfriend. He was a man Rachel had tried to leave behind. And, as friends whispered, a man who wouldn't let go. The investigation had found its first suspect. Tyler Dorsey was brought in for questioning. Calm, detached, he claimed he was home alone. No alibi. When asked about Rachel, his answers were cold, emotionless. At Rachel's funeral, Tyler sat in the front row, face unreadable. Some saw a fleeting, chilling smile cross his lips. Whispers spread. Was he mourning or savoring the moment? Detective Kruger watched him closely, sensing darkness beneath the surface. Friends described Tyler's jealousy, his possessiveness, his refusal to let Rachel move on. But there was no physical evidence, no murder weapon, no confession. All they had was suspicion and a haunting smile. The case was growing colder. Sometimes evil hides in plain sight. The truth remained just out of reach. Months passed. The case stalled, until a package arrived for Rachel's sister. Inside, a photo of Rachel, taken days before her death, through her window. A stalker's trophy, a cruel taunt. Police traced a camera purchased to Tyler Dorsey, matching the type used for the photo. The evidence was circumstantial, but damning. Investigators believed Tyler stalked Rachel, entered with a key, and killed her. But there was no DNA, no fingerprints, no confession. The district attorney refused to press charges. Tyler walked free. Rachel's murder remains unsolved. Maple Glen would never be the same. Sometimes the killer isn't a monster in the shadows. Sometimes they're sitting right in front of you. The investigation shifted focus. Detectives turned to the people who knew Rachel best. In a small windowless room, the camera lingers on trembling hands, nervous glances. One by one, voices fill the silence. Rachel's neighbor, Mrs. Connolly, recalls, "I saw a man outside Rachel's window late one night. He wore dark clothes. I thought it was her boyfriend, but now I'm not sure." Rachel's friend Jamie says, "Rachel mentioned someone following her. She said she felt watched, even at work. I told her it was just nerves." Tyler's co-worker Mark offers, "Tyler was acting weird that week. He left early, said he had to take care of something important, but he never said what. Yet Tyler's mother insists, Tyler was home that night, watching TV with me. He wouldn't hurt anyone. People just want someone to blame." As each statement unfolds, subtle contradictions appear. Times don't match, descriptions blur, motives twist. The truth slips between words, impossible to pin down. In the end, the silence says as much as the words. In Maple Glen, trust is shattered, and the shadows seem to grow longer with every unanswered question. The investigation hits a wall. In the stark glare of the interrogation room, time seems to slow. Static crackles as a police transcript is read aloud, voices monotone, clipped with fatigue. Detective, audio distortion. "Where were you on the night of the 14th, Mr. Green?" Tyler, strained. "At home, with my mom, like I said." A flickering slideshow of evidence photos appears. Rachel's shattered phone, a muddy footprint by her window, a blurry security camera still. Each image lingers, raising more questions than answers. Detective, voiceover. "Can you explain this call to Rachel at 11:32 p.m.? Jamie, hesitant. She called me. She was scared. I told her to lock her doors." The camera cuts between suspects' faces, pale under fluorescent lights. Tension mounts. Papers shuffle, pens tap. A detective rubs tired eyes. Detective, off screen. "The timelines don't fit. Somebody's lying." The investigation spirals, leads run cold, the board of clues grows cluttered, red string tangling, photos curling at the edges, frustration builds in every sigh, every closed file. In the silence, suspicion thickens. The truth remains just out of reach, hiding in plain sight as detectives stare at the evidence and realize the answers may never come. A sudden breakthrough shatters the stillness. The detectives huddle around a flickering laptop screen as a new anonymous tip arrives. A garbled voicemail, the caller's voice masked and trembling. "You're looking in the wrong place. It's not over." The message ends in static, but a barely audible whisper lingers, chilling the room. Moments later, a series of cryptic text messages appear on Rachel's old phone, recovered from evidence. The words are disjointed, desperate. "Listen closely. Trust no one. They watch at night." Each message is timestamped between 2 and 4 a.m., sent from an untraceable number. The camera pans to grainy surveillance footage, a shadowy figure lurking outside Rachel's window, movements jerky and unnatural. Another clip shows a car idling at the corner, headlights off, engine running. In the background, a distant shape moves, too fast, too blurred to identify. Detectives exchange uneasy glances, the evidence board grows more chaotic. Anonymous notes tacked between photographs, red string snaking in new directions. The lines between suspect and victim blur as paranoia sets in. Is someone manipulating the investigation from the shadows? Or is the truth simply too disturbing to see? In the dim glow of the evidence room, the detectives realize every answer leads to more questions, and the real danger might be watching from just beyond the frame. The clock ticks past midnight. In the evidence room, the detectives lay out every clue, photos, maps, and scribbled notes, desperation etching their faces. The camera glides over the board, now nearly overflowing. Rachel's childhood friend circled in red, the landlord's name underlined, a cryptic newspaper clipping pinned beside a torn bus ticket. Suddenly, the surveillance footage glitches and a new frame appears, someone moving through the shadows, face obscured by a hood. The detectives freeze. The figure pauses at Rachel's window, but this time the silhouette seems familiar. Is it the missing neighbor, or one of the officers themselves? A knock echoes in the hallway. The camera lingers on the doorknob, twisting slowly. Tension builds as the detectives brace for confrontation, but the door swings open to reveal only empty darkness. The phone buzzes again. Another message, "Stop digging." The sender's icon flickers between two different contact names. The camera pans out, revealing a wall of suspects, each with motive, each with secrets, faces half lit, half shadowed. The detectives' reflections blur in the glass, merging with the suspects. Outside, headlights sweep across the window, then vanish. As dawn breaks, the evidence board collapses, scattering clues across the floor. The camera lingers on a single, unmarked envelope resting atop the chaos, its seal unbroken. The voiceover fades, leaving viewers with one final question, in a maze of lies. Is the truth ever truly within reach? The screen fades to black, the case files unresolved, and the shadows deeper than ever. 8:03 p.m. The interrogation room hums with fluorescent light. Detective Kruger sits across from the landlord, tape recorder whirring. Detective Kruger, timestamp 20 hours 3 minutes and 12 seconds. "Where were you between 11 and midnight on the 14th, Mr. Harris?" Landlord, voice trembling. I was home, alone, I swear, I never left my apartment." The camera lingers on his shaking hands, gripping a faded bus ticket. Evidence bag marked 14B 8:17 p.m. Rachel's childhood friend Sarah sits under harsh lights, eyes red-rimmed. Sarah, timestamp 20 hours 17 minutes and 44 seconds. "Rachel and we argued that week. I was angry, but I never wanted this. I saw someone outside her window that night. I was too scared to call." The detectives exchange glances. A photo of a shadowy figure at Rachel's window is slid across the table. 8:29 p.m. The missing neighbor, Mr. Lee, is found and brought in. He sits silent, eyes fixed on the table. Detective Kruger, timestamp 20 hours 29 minutes and 58 seconds. "Mr. Lee, do you recognize this photograph?" Mr. Lee, voice barely audible. "I was there. I saw someone leave Rachel's house. I was afraid to speak, but it wasn't the landlord, it was Sarah." Gasps fill the room. Sarah breaks down sobbing. "I went to see Rachel, we fought, I left, but I heard a scream, I ran, I was scared." The detectives review the evidence board, bus ticket, newspaper clipping, the photo of the shadowy figure. The pieces finally align. Detective Kruger, timestamp 20 hours 41 minutes and 12 seconds. "Sarah, did you see who left after you?" Sarah, shaking. "No, I heard footsteps, but I never saw a face. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry." The detective's faces flicker with relief, regret, and disbelief. The confession changes everything, but the true killer remains unknown. As the evidence is boxed away, one question lingers. Have they uncovered the truth, or just another carefully constructed lie? The screen fades to black, leaving only the sound of a pen scratching the final statement into the record. The detectives gather in the evidence room, the corkboard now overflowing with photos, strings, and digital printouts. A forensic analyst examines a torn bus ticket under a microscope, then compares DNA results on a glowing computer screen. The DNA matches an unexpected suspect, a respected member of the community. On a digital map, encrypted messages trace a web of connections between townspeople, revealing a hidden network of secrets. In a dim hallway, a new witness steps forward, her face in shadow. Her trembling voice breaks the silence. "I saw him that night. He left through the back door. It wasn't the landlord, it was him." The detectives exchange tense glances, piecing together the final threads. The evidence points to the unlikeliest suspect. In a dramatic confrontation, the detectives face the real killer in a dimly lit room. Their words are measured, but the truth is undeniable. The suspect's composure cracks, eyes darting, hands trembling. A confession spills out, unraveling the conspiracy at last. Flashbacks flicker, secret meetings, coded messages, planted clues, each piece now falling into place. The detectives stand in silence, relief and sorrow mingling as justice is finally within reach. The screen fades to black. The final lines of the case file appear, a haunting reminder that even in a town shrouded in secrets, the truth will eventually find its voice. The sun rises over Maple Glen, casting golden light on quiet streets once haunted by shadows. The detectives step out of the precinct, their faces marked by exhaustion and relief. They share a quiet moment, reflecting on the case that changed them forever. In the town square, families gather, embracing, comforting, and remembering. Rachel's family stands together, holding each other close, tears and smiles mingling in the morning light. The childhood friend leaves a bouquet at Rachel's memorial, pausing in silent tribute. The townspeople begin to reclaim their lives. Children play, neighbors greet each other, hope returning with each new day. Inside the precinct, the detectives close the case file, their hands lingering on the cover. "We can't change what happened," one detective says softly, "but we can help this town heal." The camera pans over Maple Glen, now bathed in gentle sunlight, scars slowly fading. In the end, hope endures, and a community, though changed, finds the strength to move forward. As the echoes of closure settle over Maple Glen, a shadow falls across the precinct door. The detectives, ready to turn the page, are interrupted by a quiet knock. A figure stands in the doorway, nervous, eyes darting, hands trembling. They introduce themselves as Evelyn, a local who has avoided the spotlight until now. "I saw something that night," Evelyn whispers, voice barely audible, "something no one has mentioned." The detectives exchange wary glances, skepticism and curiosity warring within them. Evelyn's account is startling. She describes a car parked near the old mill, its headlights off, a figure moving stealthily in the dark. The timeline doesn't match previous testimonies. Details emerge that challenge the foundation of the closed case. Was someone else at the scene, or is Evelyn weaving a dangerous lie? As the detectives press for more, Evelyn flinches. "You need to see this," she says, pulling a small battered phone from her pocket. On the screen, a grainy video plays, a shadowy figure, familiar but unidentifiable, standing over something in the darkness. The timestamp matches the night of the murder. Shock ripples through the detectives. The evidence is undeniable, and it changes everything. Doubt floods back into Maple Glen, the fragile peace shattered. The case is far from over. As Evelyn's testimony hangs in the air, one question remains: is she a key to the truth, or the architect of a new deception? The screen fades to black, the chilling uncertainty lingering. In Maple Glen, the search for answers has only just begun. In the wake of Evelyn's shocking revelation, the precinct is electric with renewed urgency. The detectives, now armed with the damning video, pore over every detail, re-examining witness statements, timelines, and, most importantly, relationships. A pattern emerges, subtle but unmistakable. A hidden connection between Detective Harris and the enigmatic man in black. Archived messages, financial records, and a series of late-night calls reveal what no one suspected. Years ago, Harris and the man in black were childhood friends, their paths diverging after a bitter falling out. The motive for silence is suddenly clear. As the detectives confront Harris in the dimly lit interrogation room, the tension is palpable. Harris's stoic facade cracks, emotion flickering in his eyes. He tries to explain, "I thought I could protect him. I thought it was all a misunderstanding, but after what Evelyn showed us, I see now, I was wrong." The confession spills out, raw and unfiltered. Harris admits to suppressing evidence, to shielding his old friend out of guilt and misplaced loyalty. The room is heavy with betrayal and regret. Evelyn watches from the shadows, her presence a stark reminder of how truth always finds a way out. The detectives realize the web is far more tangled than they imagined. As Harris is led away, the case is blown wide open once more. Every certainty has been shattered. In Maple Glen, trust is a fragile thing, and sometimes the greatest danger lies closest to home. As dawn breaks over Maple Glen, the investigation hurtles toward its most startling revelation. Sifting through layers of deceit, the detectives stumble upon a hidden ledger. Names, dates, and coded transactions linking not just the suspects, but nearly every influential figure in town. The truth is staggering. The web of secrecy stretches far beyond Harris and the man in black. It binds the mayor, local business owners, even pillars of the community, each complicit in a decades-old pact to protect their own. The detectives are shaken to the core. Their relentless pursuit of justice has exposed not only a criminal conspiracy, but the dark underbelly of the very place they call home. Relationships fracture, old friends become strangers. Evelyn, once an outsider, now stands at the center of a storm, her courage both admired and resented. In the precinct, faces are drawn and voices hushed. No one escapes unscathed. Outside, the townspeople gather in uneasy silence. Questions hang heavy in the air. Who can be trusted? How deep does the corruption go? The case has taken its toll. On careers, on families, on the fragile sense of safety that once defined Maple Glen. As the detectives look out over their town forever changed, one question lingers. In a place built on secrets, can the truth ever truly set them free?